So today we're heading out to East Texas to pick up 3 Corvettes that Kelsey found on our social media page, which is social@cbjeep.com. The lead came in. When we got the lead, we immediately went out there and bought these cars. However, it was raining. For about the past 4 or 5 weeks, it's still been raining. And these things, some are in a barn, some are tucked away in a garage, some are on the ranch. So it's going to take a ton of people. There's going to be 8 of us total today to get these Corvettes out. Some of them have been parked since 1982. So we've got our Polaris for pulling. It's all-wheel drive. We've got our 4-wheel drive Dodge Dually with our 4-car open trailer. We got our backup Dodge Dually with a 2-car enclosed. And the reason we need that is I believe the amount of mid-year Corvette parts that are there that we're buying will fill that whole trailer. So come with us on a journey. So just so you know how many people it actually takes to pull this off, we got Big Chris, we got Big Ricky, we got Medium Alex, Medium Chris, Connor Collins, and Tyler Pfaffenbach will be running the drone today. And what's that gimbal camera thing called?
Gimbal camera?
There you go, the gimbal camera. And we've got Kelsey behind the phone right now. So come with us. We're on location, and Eric Williams did an incredible job of backing the 2-car trailer down there. There's another barn. That barn is where all the mid-year Corvette parts are, tons of them. The 54-foot Take 3 trailer is out on the road. We leave it out there. We're going to pull them up there with the Polaris and put them on out there. So watch us go. All right, so we've got a 63 Roadster here, Chris, that he was doing a frame-up restoration on. Didn't finish, but the paint's been done. He already started color sanding on it. So the doors over here, I want to make sure that we get the doors wrapped up real good so we don't have to repaint the car.
Okay.
It is a 2-top car, Roadster, hardtop obviously, they're sitting over there. Most of the parts I think are in this garage. And then there's the 67 Big Block Coupe, which this car was raced in the Dallas area supposedly for many years.
Looks like it had a life.
But what's really cool about this, and obviously I don't know the history about it yet, so we dropped the gas tank up, it's a tank sticker, but it's got an L88 intake and an L88 water pump. So my thought was we get the jack out, get these things on the ground, and pull them across the street with the Polaris and put them on the big trailer.
Okay.
And then I'm going to show you in the back, there's a whole barn full of parts because this guy worked on Corvettes for like 30 or 40 years. So we're getting all those parts too. But here's most of the 63 Roadster stuff here. The fenders for this car, I'm pretty sure I saw them in the nose out in the barn, but we'll go look. But everything in that barn but the tools is Corvette stuff we're supposed to take. And then we've got the kicker, which you're going to see in a minute, is there's a bird cage actually with a frame sitting out in the field.
Wow.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot left. But I bought it. So, but it is a mid-year car. I think obviously it's going to be more than likely a 63 since it's got dome brakes on the front. And it was a Roadster. But you know, these things are all getting built now because for Resto Mod,
yeah,
you can buy the fiberglass, but you can't get the bird cage. And look how good the bird cage is. It's not rusty. So, I have two thoughts on this. One, set this on a big pallet and just drag it over there. 2, which I think is probably the better way to go. So go ahead and put a set of wheels and tires on it.
Yeah.
That way we can get it on the big trailer. Because I'm afraid we're going to run out of room in the 2-car enclosed with all these parts.
Hey, if we can get the wheels on it, that'd be better.
All right, let me show you all the parts. Okay, I don't know if this is actually the definition of a barn find, but it is a barn, and I found a bunch of Corvette parts in here. So I didn't even touch any of this stuff because it was so dusty. That's why I brought Connor and Ricky. Somebody's gonna get dirty. Fiberglass stuff's down here.
You win this one, dude.
There's the fenders, nose, headlight surround panel.
This is like the Ark of the Covenant, and this is Indiana Jones right here. I mean,
There's some cool parts in here. No, check it out.
Oh, I'm not saying there ain't. It's just I can't see them for dust.
So we went up to the top garage and looked at the 63 Roadster on jack stands and the 67 Roadster on jack stands. And then we went out and looked at what I would call a birdcage and frame, which is a leftover 63 that's been parted out pretty heavy, but I still think somebody will build it into a resto mod. And then we checked out the barn with all the dusty, dirty parts. I think we have a plan. We're gonna get the wheels and tires on that car, drag it up. We're gonna put the 67 Coupe on the big trailer first, the 63 Roadster next, and that chassis will be the third. And then we'll get everything else loaded, parts and pieces, in the 2-car enclosed trailer. Should be really easy. We ought to be able to do it in about 20 minutes.
Pretty cool. Found some keys. What do you think? Feeling lucky? Game on. Winner.
That's the new definition of manual steering. It takes 2 guys. Eric, I think I want to just leave this here, go grab the other car, and pull these 2 up at the same time, so we don't run the winch battery out. Sound like a plan? If we do it right, we can pull all 3 of them up at the same time. So there's stories of this car running around Dallas in the late 70s, early 80s. It was supposedly one of the fastest Corvettes around. On the hood it says mouse motor. Here's a telltale sign, it definitely was in Dallas. So Dirty of Dallas, 1977, at one point in time a pinstripe this car. Got SMU, Southern Methodist University, which is where Kelsey graduated from, which is in Dallas. Now what's odd is, we see a 1982 Georgia inspection sticker. So, I don't know how to explain that, but it's a Texas title, and this car supposedly ran around Yellow Belly, Green Valley, and a bunch of the drag strips in Dallas. Was a really fast car to its day. Here it says mouse motor. We ought to be able to find the history, maybe just because of that. There's a couple things in this motor that really intrigued me. I checked the casting number on this intake, and this is in fact an L88 intake. It also has an L88 aluminum water pump. It'd be really interesting to tear this motor down and see what's inside it. Well, the reason we brought the Polaris this time instead of bringing a Black Mountain Jeep, which is what we used to do to yank stuff out, there just wasn't enough room. So at one point in time, a mid-year Corvette in this condition had little or no value. But now, as long as you've got the birdcage, this is a start for resto mod because all the fiberglass pieces are available. And most of the guys are changing the frames anyways. So, believe it or not, I think this car will get built. All right, Alex, I got mine unloaded. So you hear from time to time a mid-year Corvette or any early Corvette as to the birdcage, which is this section right here. It's one of the only areas that is rust prone. This one's not rusty at all, but basically this is a bare bones to do a build. And like I said earlier, this car is probably going to get built because all the fiberglass pieces are available, but none of these substructure here, known as the birdcage, is available. So we'll see what happens, but I predict that this car will have a new life and turn into a $250,000 resto mod, especially after these guys get the wheels and tires on it. No idea what's going to happen. We have no steering, the brakes are locked up, and this thing's been here, according to the owner, forever. Which, forever, I think this thing's been here for over 30 years. But, saving a mid-year Corvette, here we go. This car is stuck like Chuck. How much slack do I have?
Pretty decent, man.
I want to get it just not taut, but closer. Just tell me when it's close. Okay.